I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delving into the historical enigma of the mystery of the ancient cup with author Peter Churan. From a flea market find to a scientific revelation, Peter reveals how a simple glass cup has ties to ancient meteorites and early civilizations. Join us right now as we trace its journey from the Black Sea through Europe to Canada, unveiling and unraveling its religious and cultural significance. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Mainspring Books for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Peter, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Great. Good to see you too.
This is quite a story. When you saw this cup at the flea market, did you know right away that this was something special?
It looked a little bit different, and I used to go to flea markets, just pick up cups and different items, try to figure out what they were, and most times end up discarding them or, over time, usually worthless objects. And this one I couldn't figure out for the longest time and kept researching it.
What was different about its appearance that caught your attention?
Just some of the designs of it still, looks somewhat of a modern piece, but different designs on it. You could see that it was a grouping of sort. There was a couple pieces, and just different and different in size. Just odd a little bit.
Yeah. So when did you take that next step from being curious about it to doing some testing on it, like carbon dating?
Well, the carbon dating started quite a bit after, actually. I thought it was a fairly modern piece, maybe went back a couple hundred years. And I kept going back in time, and it wasn't really making sense that I couldn't find a match to it, or something in the world similar to it. So got discounted a couple times. People look at it and nobody really figured it out. And then, for the cost of the radiocarbon dating, I thought I'd run a test just to try to get an idea of what its time frame was, and it turned out to be significantly older than what I thought it was.
And how old did it turn out to be?
Well, we've got now two pieces dated 7,000 BC, which is pretty crazy. Be
Mm,
the oldest pieces possibly in the world,
yeah.
and still running some tests. But to date, we've got four positive radiocarbon tests done, which they run twice.
Now, so this dates back about 9,000 years.
Yes.
Does that mean that the cup was made 9,000 years ago, or the components were here on Earth 9,000 years ago?
That the cup was possibly made 9,000 years ago. We found what keeps the pieces together. It's like a tree sap
Mhm.
or an item, and so we used. You have to get radiocarbon dating. You have to use find an organic substance on the piece. So we sent out some of those organics, and they change it to graphite, and then it goes to into some kind of a centrifuge or whatever they use, and highly accurate, and the test came back to that date. Uh,
Amazing.
yeah, it appears that goes back to the times of Göbekli Temp and different things that they're now finding in the Turkey area, and people seem to be a little more sophisticated than we first thought they were.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't picture people 9,000 years ago drinking out of cups like that, right?
No, and but people always had hands. People were always smart. We just because it goes back in time, we figure they had nothing. So
Mhm.
but people could think, they knew how to use their hands. The day gets long when you don't do anything. So imagine they were creative also.
Yeah, it's amazing. Where is this cup now?
It's in safety deposit boxes,
Mhm.
sealed, and it's sent off for testing off and on. And yeah, so it's kind of where it is right now.
Have you spoken to any museums that curate artifacts like this?
Yes, Actually, I've got a second book that's coming out right now, and that's going. That research will be going to a museum, and with some added chemistry and some other things, and uh, we further the travel path also.
Now, the second book, is it about the same cup or is it a different find?
No, same kind with added another couple added years of research. But the first book, Mystery of the Ancient Cup, has lots in it. The two good books.
Yeah, yeah. Who's your target audience for the book? Sociologists, archaeologists?
Yes, yeah, it could have archaeologists. There's a fair amount of glass chemistry in there from the Turkey area.
Mhm.
So did a lot of research with different chemical testing of different researchers in the past of that area, along with the charts that we have, along with the radiocarbon dating. So it'll be good for glass chemists, good for the common reader. We explain radiocarbon dating a little bit. Also, the book's very interesting.
Mm.
It touches on history, geography, uh, do some research, a lot of research in different readings to look for quotes with the Greeks and with some of the ancient stories tell of the pieces indirectly where, and if you follow it, you get pretty good idea. So the book explains it a little better than I do actually, because
Mhm.
using actual quotations and from pretty sharp people, and I try to stay objective. It's and try to put the research together in a book like format that brings you through time, where it's all dated, and you
Mhm.
go forward in time, and you get a feel of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing that this cup survived, that it
It
didn't
is,
get broken or dropped or crushed along the way, right?
yes, but pieces back then either stayed with kings or queens or with the religious sector
Mhm.
mainly, and they took very good care of their things, and they didn't handle them much. They put them away a little more careful than I am, but these people were very meticulous and careful,
It's
and
amazing. Movies are made about the search for the Holy Grail, and
yeah.
you found something that's a little bit older than the Holy Grail, right?
Yes, yeah, if there is one, and then there's all kinds of dispute and all kinds of, and but yeah, the yeah, man's been around a long time,
Yeah.
so, and it's just with all the wars and earthquakes and things that happen over time, things get destroyed and buried, and so it's kind of a shame how we lose our history. We're a
Mm.
little bit self-destructive, but some things survive and get passed on over time, and yeah, some things are luckier than others.
Exactly. Peter, tell us a little bit about your background. Is exploring artifacts like this part of your work?
I, I've had a mixed life. I started out, I thought I was going to be a phys ed teacher, never made it there. Uh, got in some business programs, always liked history. Worked a little bit with antiques when I was younger, a little bit with art, sold some real estate. So did a little bit of everything. And the curiosity of this to try to find out what it was, intrigued me, and pursued it. Had to learn quite a bit. And, there's others that are, when you don't know something, you go see people that know more than you do. And, so you gradually learn, and you learn from other people. And it seems to be coming together anyhow.
Absolutely. Has anybody given you a valuation for this cup, what it
No,
might be worth?
not yet at this time. And I think now that put together the second book, which defines the travel path a little bit better,
Hmm.
more concise, it'll help those people also. But I haven't really thought that much of it. I just wanted to keep the grouping together, try to figure out what it was, try to figure out where it belongs in the end, and go from there.
Now, when you talk about the grouping, do you have multiple pieces
Yeah,
that
there's
are,
different
or-
pieces. Yeah, there's some different pieces, and I think different pieces were added over time in
Mhm.
order to show where the pieces have been.
Yeah.
you get different time frames with radiocarbon dating, and it helps show you where you are, and it's pretty good.
Amazing. Is this the first book you've published?
Yes, I didn't think I'd be a writer, or and so yeah, so this is the first one. Actually, the research was becoming overwhelming, and I had to record the research somewhere, so I put it in a book format so I could refer back to it after as the research went on, and and turned out to a pretty good read, and now move forward to finishing the second book of research, and yeah, and it's
Amazing.
yeah,
Amazing.
interesting.
This trip to the flea market, this purchase has put you on a path you never expected before. Part researcher, part scientist, part explorer, and of course, author as well. And you've done a terrific job with this book. The name of the book is The Mystery of the Ancient Cup. It is written by Peter Churan. He found it at a flea market and it became a scientific revelation. It dates back 9,000 years. That's 7,000 years before the birth of Christ, to put things into perspective. Peter reveals in his book how a simple glass cup, has ties to ancient meteorites and early civilizations. It's an amazing journey. It's an amazing find. This is an amazing book. Peter, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thanks for having me. It's been enjoyable and very nice. Thank you.
Great. I enjoyed speaking with you as well. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.